What's going on, Jeromes? We need to get serious about the Vikings interior offensive line. We need to get back to having the meats. Haven't had solid guards in a fortnight. And it's not for lack of trying, but the Vikings just haven't gotten it together. And heading into the offseason, I mean, at the guard spots, you got Brandel, you got Jurgens, you have Ed Ingram under contract. Walter Rouse potentially could move inside the guard. Garrett Bradbury is still an issue at center, but help is on the way. The Vikings have $78 million in cap space. They have the motivation to go out and get after it. And, of course, you know all the names already. Trey Smith, Will Fries, Tevin Jenkins, Becton, who looked really damn good for the Eagles on Sunday. Actually, I'm really starting to get on the Mekhi Becton train, baby. Also, James Daniels, Aaron Banks, etc. But there is a veteran name out there that could make a lot of sense in terms of a stopgap, and that is Kevin Zeitler of the low-energy Detroit Lions. And it could be a spot, too. So Zeitler's going to be cheap because he's going to be 35 in the spring, but he can still do the damn thing, man. He's still got some really good football left in him, and it could be a spot, too, where maybe the Vikings do believe in the future of a guy like Michael Jurgens or Walter Rouse, but maybe they're not ready to hand over the reins in 2025. They want to see some more. They want to see some development, and signing a guy like Zeitler, who's not going to be here for long term, or sure for Zach Martin, could free them up just a little bit. And long story longer, Pro Football Focus agrees. So best landing spots for PFF's top 15 free agents on offense. Kevin Zeitler in the thick THICC of things headed to the Vikings' best landing spot. Overall free agent rank number 27, which is pretty impressive considering his age. Zeitler will be 35 years young when he hits the open market, but his long track record of sustained success across multiple franchises should warrant looks from decision makers. With Detroit this season, Zeitler generated the best PFF run blocking grade of his career, 87.2, proving to be a key contributor during the Lions' historic season that obviously ended in a Super Bowl. The Vikings need all the help they can muster to halt the constant flow of interior pressure they experienced in 2024, having allowed the highest interior pressure rate of 18.8% in the NFL, which is not good. It's no bueno. And they continue. So Zeitler's guesstimated at a 1-year, $6.25 million deal. I will crowdfund that. We will start a GoFundMe for Kevin Zeitler. The Vikings have the cap space. They have the motivation. Yes, it doesn't really jive with Kwesi's Moneyball approach, but in a way, it kind of does too. The whole David Justice angle of it is just like, hey, you have a named player that you know is good, has decent production left, and you can get it for cheap. Plus, you take him away from a division rival. It's kind of nice. After spending the last 3 years in Baltimore, Zeitler joined Detroit, which is at a near seamless fit. His 86.8 PFF overall grade in the regular season was his best since 2014, and his 87.2 PFF run blocking grade was a career high mark. The 34-year-old could be a cheap, effective guard option on the open market. Now, you do have to separate how much of it is Zeitler, how much of it is being surrounded by a great offensive line with the Lions and a really great run game. I think a lot of it is Zeitler, right? And he is 35 years young, and he's certainly been around the block. Born and raised in Wisconsin, was a Badger too. Don't hold that against him. First-round pick in 2012. 2 picks ahead of Harrison Smith. So, I don't know, Harrison's probably going to be back next year, so he and Zeitler could talk about, old stuff. Like, hey, remember Chumbawamba? Yeah. Bengals, Browns, Giants, Ravens, Lions. And every single time that he hit free agency, I wanted him so bad. And this is no different, I guess. But it did make one Pro Bowl in 2023 with the Ravens, and he's been consistently one of the best right guards in the National Football League. 18 pressures, 5 sacks allowed in 2024. For comparison, Reisner and Ed Ingram at right guard combined for 45 pressures, so almost 3 times as much. And 6 sacks. And like PFF mentioned, 87.2 run blocking grade was second best in the NFL amongst guards. So I think that this one does make a ton of sense, where it's not going to cost a lot. Obviously, still has a lot of good football left in him. Is he the future? No, but it gives you time to prepare for the future. Plus, it does reset things in terms of attitude-wise, where Zeitler's bounced around the league so much that he's played in multiple schemes. He won't be a liability in outside zone, and he will bring that ass. He will bring that ass. You can't move him. And that old man strength and just been there, done there, got the T-shirt. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. As well as just that veteran leadership of, maybe not so much like a vocal leader, but just workman, lunch pail, all the stereotypes, all of the tropes and stuff. But that's something that the Vikings need. The Vikings need attitude. The Vikings need leadership. The Vikings just need to get after that ass. And Zeitler, I think, could be a very cheap and efficient option. Now, I'm not going to pass on Trey Smith or Becton for Zeitler a little bit cheaper, but it certainly could be an option if the Vikings don't get their primary targets, which certainly can happen in free agency, but we'll see. Anyways, PFF says Kevin Zeitler, Vikings. Makes sense. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.